where we last left off, the idea was being tossed around to tie is a strong word, but tie yourselves to a shipping crate and drop it over the side so you guys could sink faster. It's this very statement, or the close approximation to it, that finally snaps Chip out of his little, haze that he's been in.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you're come to comprehend what you saw?
No, I just fell asleep. What happened?
Might have jumped into the Ocean of Fragments, saw something down there, and a few things slipped away.
A few things slipped away. Like,
The Admiral
It's
kind
like-
of speaks up at this point. A little bit lighter than he was when he went down. Some weight lifted off of his shoulders, I'm certain.
It's like I know there's people I used to know. I can remember names, but I can't remember who they are, what they look like.
right, let me just, Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just know that they were there at the time. Other than that, it's gone.
So, we saw something down there, and your thought was to jump in after it after repeatedly learning that that was not a smart idea.
The factor you're missing, I don't know if you remember. Because I guess you might have seen the same thing, but this temple thing in the water is where the sickness came from. So I'm running out of options, rather. We didn't really get to finish discussing whether this was a smart idea before he jumped in. So we're just kind of dealing with the consequences. But now I think we're too far to quit.
Well, it occurs to me.
You want to
Sorry,
stay up here? If you want to stay up here, then no one's going to hold that against you, I'm sure.
Which, real quick, both table, I am having really bad lag, so I do apologize in advance. Yeah. Well, I kind of have an idea. It's a bit of a crazy one, but in theory, objects end up down here when they die, from my understanding.
Well, they fall apart. They fall in here, they should dissolve. They're nothing. Which means that you point to the ziggurat.
Right. And it occurs
Is a
to
lie.
me. And it occurs to me that a lot of the stuff that we've met so far is pretty old by comparison. So somewhere up there in the dead timeline is where, I don't know, like diving suits or something might be? Or is that just not how it works?
Don't think that's how it works. Go down there for longer, but
Even if you were to
What?
get a diving suit, it would eventually dissolve as well. It wouldn't
Sure.
buy you more than 3 seconds before it started eating at you. That thing, the Admiral kind of gestures to the top of the ziggurat that it's visible just probably 2 feet below the surface of the water. By all estimations, that thing should have been dissolved long ago. It is why when you asked to go to the ziggurat, I knew exactly where it was. It's an anomaly. Yeah. The Admiral can't say that word today.
Quick, say aluminum.
Aluminum.
Darn.
So,
And whatever else is down there that's making the bubbles and is separate. So
or you looks over at Tiago. You said you saw something shimmering. What exactly did it look like? A door or
Couldn't get
something of the
close.
sort?
Couldn't get close. Just saw it down there. You know, in the darkness, it's kind of stood out.
Well, anybody knows that if you submerge something full of air, occasionally air escapes from it. It is possible that the bubbles are coming from, well, within the ziggurat.
okay. So whatever it is, we need to get down there quicker. Julia's gonna look over at her Geist and is just like, how do you fancy a swim? Hopefully this one will go better than the last one.
The Geist gives you kind of a very concerned look. You very much understand why this look is highly concerned. Specifically for you, the other guys don't look nearly as concerned.
Well, this might not even be water. You might maybe you're able to breathe it. I don't know. Tiago, were you like drowning down there when you were gone?
Just like swimming, you know, except usually it doesn't give away your memories of who you are.
Right, that didn't answer the question.
I mean, it doesn't feel like you're drowning any more than going underwater usually does.
If someone's got to forget some stuff, I ain't got a whole lot to remember. If it wants to delete 5 days or 50 days of me driving down the same road every day, I don't think I'll know the difference.
Yeah, but are you? How good in the water are you?
I'm basically a rock. Oh yeah, no, I don't. I swim about as well as the truck I drive.
Also,
So,
I feel like this is the time. Tiago, are you doing the translations? I have to check because Chip's speaking English.
It's when he like I'm like encouraging the Portuguese. When he gets something really wrong, I'll correct it. Like there's occasionally moments where probably Tiago and Júlia just look at each other where he gets pronunciation slightly wrong and says something very, very
yeah, at this point, for some reason, Chip is speaking like not perfect, but Southern draw Portuguese. There's no real. It's the weirdest mix you've ever heard of. It's like someone threw. I don't know. I don't know what a. I don't know.
Fair
I don't know
enough.
how to describe it. It's like it's the draw of like the ER at the end instead of like an A at the end in Portuguese. Yeah. Um so anyway, Chip can see the ziggurat.
The top of it,
Um
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna look at Arwen and be like, well, what say you fancy one shot at this and see what happens?
Orwin kind of blinks as best as he can, so to speak. You can tell all the guys don't necessarily want to dive in there. Obviously, Drifting Smith is a little bit more apprehensive than the rest, but it does seem like most of the guys are edging towards the idea if you guys go down there, they're not gonna stop you, but it's unlikely that they're tagging along in this one case.
Yeah, I went down there flying solo. I don't think any force on Earth or anywhere else would get them to voluntarily jump in.
Just trying to think of some way we can actually establish something. And I got to come up with a plan soon, or else we're spinning our wheels and that can get ugly.
Yeah, we're not gonna get anywhere. Right, bud. I understand the risks, but we're doing it.
Drifting Smith gives you one last, you be damn careful.
Well, you're helping me if you don't know. Because you know what could be down there too. So it's in your interest to help me out. And, we're gonna use call again.
He's got to force the issue.
Look, I need some momentum, alright?
Oh, fly up and then dive.
It's a diving from, 10 stories.
I mean, I saw it, but it was just out of my reach, No way of getting down. Or difficult to get down that deep. Just on your own steam, so.
Yeah, I'm also going to open call with the Key of Waters for the essence.
Okay.
Well, actually, theoretically, would this be a resonant condition?
What's the Key of Waters thing?
Suggested the Key of Deep Waters is resonant when the bound is in an environment where breathing is impaired. Mm-hmm. Carbon dioxide, filled garage, an industrial farm, whatever, submerged in water. Additionally, yes. The target. Okay.
Yeah, difficult to breathe, most certainly. This behaves exactly like water, so.
Okay, so I get exceptional on 3 instead of 5.
Which you need.
Yes, and I mean, I don't need it. Technically, I just then get doomed if I don't. But I would get 3 plasm from opening it, and I'll just spend all 3 on call.
So give us that call roll.
Damn, that's not an exceptional.
So, what is the doom condition for you?
Next time you would fully replenish willpower, you gain only 1 and you resolve the doom. And I don't think I can open any more keys while I'm doomed.
Huh. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Excuse me.
No, it's not terrible.
Not great either, though.
No. And yeah, at risk of her brain finally figuring out this is a terrible idea and somebody stopping her, just gonna go for it. Just gonna go up and get speed and go down.
All right, so I need that. Oh, what was the role I was having him do?
Dexterity athletics.
Dexterity athletics. At
Was it Dex? I thought it was Strength. That's fine.
strength works too. I could see both. However, go ahead and add +3 to your roll because of the momentum.
Okay. I am gonna.
However, each roll, this bonus goes down by 1, as obviously the resistance of water.
Yeah. I'm also going to burn charges of call to use my Sin-Eater's power instead of my strength. My Geist power, not my Sin-Eater. You know what I mean?
This would be finesse.
Is it strength finesse? Or if we go Dex, that's still better roll. That's fine.
Yeah.
So Dex athletics +3 +2 because finesse is 4. Finesse is 4. My Dex is 2.
Ah.
Where did the button go?
So you get your options here of, with the exceptional success, you can reduce the amount of time it takes for each roll. You can reduce the number of successes required by the amount of successes you have. So essentially it technically doubles it. Or you get a bonus.
Do we want to gamble?
Well,
I don't know what a bonus here would imply, so I don't know if I want to gamble. I think I'll just reduce the successes.
So you're going to lose 1 merit or whatever. What merit are you choosing?
Just tack off a point of resources.
Somehow you forget how you have money.
I'm losing
PIN number.
I'm losing the deed to my establishment. My company is vanishing from reality.
You just forgot the wallet to your crypto wallet. You forgot to pay to it.
This is Brazil, yeah. I bet a lot of payments are probably Bitcoin.
Yeah.
However, you've reached your destination in kind of one fell swoop. It required 10 successes. You never got 10.
Oh.
Júlia got 5 successes and then reduced the number of successes by 5.
Of course.
Okay, my destination. What's the shiny object?
Let me answer that with this statement. Your destination, as you turn towards it, your momentum carries you through your destination. You find yourself suddenly not in water, in open air. You have to unfurl your wings very quickly, as much as they can in this tight corridor to not go skidding.
Gonna get to my feet and there's no water.
You do hear dripping, and you can hear the sounds of water all around you.
Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't think I'd get this far.
Especially in one roll.
What do I guess I can maybe try to give a phone call up. How does reception work underwater and out of time?
With a wet phone.
Look, I don't know.
As you pull out your phone, you do see that half the numbers are deleted.
Can I
you
get
do
like
have
an
Chip's
intelligence
number.
roll? Okay.
You do
I
have,
was gonna say,
but you
give me a
don't have
roll to remember number.
you don't have Malcolm or Tiago's.
Okay, that's fine. I will. I'll give him a
Ring
ring.
me.
See if it goes through.
We're just standing there. There's dramatic silence. All you hear is the rock of the boat as we breathlessly wait for a response. The next thing you hear, I'm like,
Go ahead.
second time today.
Is this on? Hello? Can you?
Yeah. Well, you get great reception down there, huh?
It's not great reception. It is. You
Like
make
all
out every
sarcasm.
other word.
The the thing Tiago saw is like I'm gonna turn around. What is it? Is it just kind of like a wall or a door or just an opening with like a weird?
Yeah. If it didn't have the multicolored hues to it, you would almost say it looks like a fog of some sort. But it is
So
very
I've gone through a fog wall.
a very rainbow-esque bright fog wall.
There's like a force field or something here, keeping the water out. I guess I'll just keep going, but just so you know, I am alive. Don't.
Oh, sit tight. I'm on the way. Okay. You know how there's like 500 conditions in this game?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out which one is the shrouded condition.
It's the very end of the book. It's one of the haunt conditions. Shroud.
There we go.
You don't need to eat, sleep, or breathe. You cannot be blinded or deafened by non-supernatural means.
So you don't need to breathe.
And it
I
gives you a
shall
number.
don the shroud.
You just wanted to say that, didn't you?
No, it's an ability I have, but yes. All right. Hold on. Let me go all the way back to page 109.
The dice pool is just shroud and synergy.
Okay.
You get a number of charges equal to how much plasm you spend, and depending on whether or not you have higher levels of it, you could do more things.
So that's going to give me 4 dice. I do not have control of my character sheet for some reason. Oh, there we go.
I was gonna say you should.
Never mind. I got it. Yeah, I'm going to trying to see if I need to put more points into Dawn the Shroud, because I can. Because I think I should have 3. Where'd my XP go? I don't know. Worry about it later, I guess. So that'll give me 4 dice. Shroud plus synergy. And
You can also roll willpower with this. So you spend a point of willpower to get 3 die if you're not liking the odds of 4.
yeah. I'm not liking the odds of like anything. But yes, we're gonna add 3 here. And yeah. We're gonna see how fast I sink. What on earth happened there? Oh, it did. It worked.
Yeah. So
It did its thing. I was just terrible at it.
So 0 successes. I'm
At some point, they're just gonna have to create a rule where it's like, look, if you roll more than 3 ones, we give you at least a pity success.
So, shroud. Hold on. There. The shroud.
Failure is just it fails.
Yeah. It does not activate.
Yeah, do you only have one dot in shroud?
Yeah, I was wondering how many XP I could throw in to it to increase it, but
Is it one of your kind of like in what is it?
I've never really invested much in the abilities. Yeah.
Well, no.
Is it
Yeah. Is it one of your burdens?
It was one of the ones that I picked when I made the character, so maybe?
What's your bird?
His burden is something.
Probably blank.
No, you have a burden. I just have to look at the symbol because I only know it by the symbols.
It says the kindly / pilgrims.
The kindly.
No, that's the kindly. Yeah, Pilgrims is
I think
crew.
pilgrims is the crew. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you put a D&D player inside of a Call of Darkness splat.
So the kindly. Where is it? Gandhi, where are you?
Right here, boss.
You know this stuff.
I don't have all of them memorized.
Yes, you do. Don't lie to me.
It's their preferred are the dirge, marinette, and the shroud.
So yes, that is.
Yeah.
So it's 4, right?
It's 3.
3 experience.
3, because it's in burn. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, what? I get 1 extra dice roll?
How much XP do you have?
I didn't spend any from the last session, so
So at least 3, probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
So. You know what? Because dice are weird, why not? I'll
Do you
spend
believe
it.
in the heart of the dice?
No, I do not. No.
The plasm you spent just kind of falls around you, making kind of a slushing noise.
Right. It's been a while since I've tried this. Do I get to try again, or
Just have to spin plasm again, so it burns resources.
yeah? So 2 plasm. Will forego the willpower for now, because let's face it. Pretty much, I'm thinking 2 willpower or 2 plasm for 2 turns, because I'm hopefully relying on physicality to make it down there. I'm just trying to look cool for no reason. Hey, there we go. 2 successes.
That'll work. This time the plasm kind of seals you in what looks... You know how you kind of wanted an old school diving suit? It's kind of what the plasm forms around you.
Yeah. So that'll work, and I'm gonna try to follow sort of the same direction that Júlia took, minus the Blue Angels stunt that she pulled.
Tiago, are you gonna attempt?
No chance. I've been in that water before. I know what it does. I'm gonna stand at the side and.
All right. I wasn't sure if you wanted to do the crate route. All right.
In theory, you could get in the crate and let it sink, and that would give you...
Send me right down. I'm then stuck in a perpetual, forever sinking crate.
Well, no, you aim it. You know, like you did with the screws or the bolts, whatever.
So
you can't marionette a shipping crate?
I will see how this goes. I might join you.
So, as you dive in, give me your first. I will let you go ahead. Do you have the giant merit, out of curiosity?
Yes.
Okay. So, I will give
No.
you a choice here. You can either use strength and athletics, or you can use your size. Your
Size is
six.
6.
As a dice pool.
So 8 versus 7. So yeah, I'll go 8. However, I don't really know how to roll size.
You would just put simple roll and you would enter in the amount of dice you need to roll.
Yeah. So
Okay.
is it plus? Yeah.
So it would be 8. I'm trying to see anything else I might have to help me here.
Any specialties?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. No, my specializations are driving related.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna have any specialties of swimming.
No. Sometimes I'm lucky to get a shower.
On that note, let's get our roll.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get it set up. 6 plus. My computer is lagging bad.
You had originally said 6 plus 2.
Yeah, 8. Come on. There we go.
5 successes. You get the same options as Júlia did. You can either reduce the number of successes needed by 5. You can do your turns in half the time, or you get a special bonus. And you know if you choose to reduce it by 5, you get there.
Yeah, but I'm a gambling man. I'll take the special bonus.
Okay. I need you to lose 1 merit.
Portuguese.
Are you sure you want to do... Oh, yeah, Tiago's still playing. And with that, I need another roll. As you're legitimately, like, sinking because of your size.
Yeah, pretty much. You didn't say what the bonus was, but, you know. It doesn't apply yet, I assume.
Yeah, it doesn't apply yet. It applies once you finish, if you finish.
Oh, there we go. I'm getting there. I've got 8 different windows open. Okay, that's 2.
You lose another merit dot.
Yep. Let me see what.
And there is sanctity of traits, so each one of these that you're losing gets turned into a raw experience point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me 2 XP and I don't know what toll biology. I'm just kidding.
Tolerance to biology. I feel like that one. I think Tiago also chose to disregard that one.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. We shall disregard that one as well.
All right. I need another roll. Unless you just like absolutely butcher the next 7 rolls, you're gonna get there, but you only need 3 more successes.
There you go.
Okay. So, as you're, you will need to lose 1 more because it was a total of 3 turns.
Sure.
As you sink with grace, let's just put it that way. You miss the handhold. You see what everybody's been talking about, this like shimmery, multicolored thing. However, you're just a few feet too far. As your hand goes out, you miss it. and you continue to sink. It becomes very apparent, though. The further down you get, the more the pressure above is weighing down on you, so you actually start to sink faster. You look down, just in time to see that same kind of glimmer right underneath your feet. As you breach this, you no longer feel the pressure. You feel air whoosh by you. You hit the ground rather hard. You are going to take 3 points of lethal damage, unless you want to spend plasma and downgrade.
Yeah, we'll I can't just punch the ground to not take damage. No.
It knocks the wind out of you. And as you look around, it's very hard to see, but you seem to be in some sort of large antechamber.
Well, that didn't kill me. Again. I mean, I'm just going to kind of start heading in the direction I think Júlia probably went. Just, if she's that way, I'm looking for a way to go that way.
It becomes very apparent. Actually, give me a perception check first off. I feel like that's more appropriate.
Do I still have... I do have inspired perception.
You want to burn it?
Sure.
Okay, you get an exceptional on 3 successes, rather than 5.
Now I gotta just remember which one is perception. Sorry.
Wits plus composure.
Wits. Composure. Darn.
Close. From your general sense of direction, this antechamber is large enough that it probably is the most bottom of the area. This is also backed up by the fact that you're probably in shin-deep water. You notice several exits out of this place. You can still see the shimmer above. And you also see some shimmering lines and, for lack of a better term, symbols on the ground underneath the water. But unfortunately, the one thing this perception check won't give you is a sense of where Júlia is. You know you missed where Tiago saw. You went way deeper than that. So if you had to guess and Júlia landed right where Tiago saw, she's up somewhere.
Start looking for a way to go up. That's all I can do.
All right. As stated, there's several archways for you to pass through. As you get closer to one of these archways, you also notice a mural on the back wall. The mural is of some sort of advanced civilization. You can't really tell. Doesn't look like anything you've ever seen. And a pustulant mass attempting to wash over it. And then you see what appears to be a deliberate crack in the mural. And you see jungles and forests and little, for lack of a better term, mud huts.
Taking it in as I'm walking.
You're able to find a corridor with a staircase leading up. As you move through these stairs, you notice the walls are lined with burial pits, essentially. Little sleeves where bodies were put. Most of them are empty, some of them contain skeletons. Very much a necropolis.
Seeing the emptied tombs, I make sure my good old bludgeoning weapon of choice is ready. Because you never know.
Júlia.
Yes. I guess I go forward.
You start, as you get a little bit further in, you start seeing the same burial sleeves, whatever you want to call them, that I described to Chip. And eventually you do get a staircase leading down. This place is very much a labyrinth, weaving in and out. You get turned on yourself a couple of times before you get to the staircase. It is about as bad as the upper reaches, but unlike the upper reaches, you at least have landmarks up there.
No choice but to press on. See if I can't find anything.
Roll me a perception check.
While he's doing that, quick question. Since I burned the inspired perception, so that was resolved, do I get the XP from that?
Yes.
That's going to make the next potential encounter interesting.
What's composure? 1. The dripping gets a little louder. However, that is not the main thing. I need you to make me a stamina roll. Júlia.
Time to use the another charge of call, I think.
To roll the resistance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
Ooh. Is there a condition I can inflict here that makes sense?
Well, it's been nice knowing you folks, but Julia is not returning for the final contagion arc because she will die by then.
Let's see. That doesn't.
Because if she gets sick now, we're at the start of the timeline.
Oh dear.
You're not getting. Well, okay, you are getting sick, but not that type of sick.
Sicko walking around, right?
You're. Okay, essentially, this is a modified drugged, I guess, in this case. So gain the quote unquote drugged condition.
Yeah, what book is that from?
It's in Geist.
Okay.
Page
I
293.
can find it.
As these noxious fumes reach you, it's a mix of infection, death, and rotting flesh.
Not pleasant. Is there any particular source, or is it just the air?
You only got one success on your perception. It seems you didn't smell it while you were up top. So it's something new in the air. But you can't figure out where it's coming from.
Well, I hope for your sake, if you're still conscious with me, you're not smelling it either.
As you continue going down, the smell gets stronger. It seems like you only caught a whiff of it earlier because you were just at the borderline. As you continue going down, it gets worse and worse. And at this point, I need a pure stamina check again. Because here come the contents of your stomach.
Pain. I'll just spend another call point. I have multiple of them.
Alright. You're able to choke back whatever, even if it was just bile that was in your stomach. However, it does nothing to ease the fact that you are looking at a pustulant, rotting corpse standing on its legs, shambling about towards you. Tiago. Still on the boat with the Admiral?
Yeah, I'd be like walking around, going back to the side, walk back to the front, looking in.
The Admiral kind of speaks up at this point. Do you have another destination you would like to go to? We do have a schedule. You are, of course, you've paid the toll. You can, of course, just ride with us till the end of the line.
Why do I get the impression the end of the line with you is when time stops?
Oh, no, not in this particular situation unless you want to sign up as a crew member. That would be entirely your decision, though. The end of the line here is one of the deep domains that we will be visiting upon the shores.
What's my ever-present companion doing?
Ishmael. Ishmael has a certain smugness about him, as if he's saying, at least my bound knows better than to stick his nose in where it hurts. And it seems like he's almost attempting to mock the others. Or mock Arwen, specifically, since Drifting Smith isn't here and Rose is indisposed. Or just ignoring the situation since Malcolm hasn't jumped over either.
How long have they been gone?
Oh, they've probably been gone 5-10 minutes at most. It's at this point that you could honestly be certain they've either met their end. Well, you know for a fact Júlia hasn't. But Chip could have met his end and Júlia made it. You do know that.
I'm gonna hate myself for doing this if I'm gonna even remember who myself even is.
It's not as bad as you might think it is.
Yeah, well. You know, I was just getting to the point when I was just about able to live with myself, who I was. Maybe now. Maybe now that
Either you will be able to do so even easier now, or you won't have to.
You know, when you put it like that, you just make it sound so much easier.
I mean, for some, forgetting is easy.
Just worried about what I'll forget, you know. Go jump back in there. Last time I forgot a few people that maybe that was for the better. Who's to say that this time it's someone who actually matters?
The Admiral kind of shrugs and goes, there's a certain lightness not having those things tie you down.
And it's climbing over the side again, and it's the whole way down.
So you're
Why
just
you
gonna
know
jump in?
Knowing where I'm going this time, it's why are you doing this, Almeida? You're an idiot. Everyone would say so. Well, here you are doing this again, knowing how this ends. First time was stupid, this is deliberate.
Insanity.
Yeah.
Alright. As you dive in, give me that first roll. You know the target number of successes, and you know how many turns you have. Do you want to spend a point of willpower?
Is there any way I can argue for slightly less, because I know where it is from the first time around?
Sure, but I'm not going to tell you how much it modifies it by.
Don't worry, that's absolutely fine. It just makes me feel slightly better. So...
Willpower?
Not this time, no.
Okay.
5. 1. Ooh, here we go.
Okay, so what, that's better.
4.
So, what I'll wait till the end on this one.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just deleting them as I go, so it's, let's willpower this one. That gives me 8 total.
And that's enough.
Oh. Okay.
You make it to the same entrance you saw, the same one Júlia went into. What all did you forget while you were in there?
I had a safety deposit box with some ill-gotten gains in it. Don't know where the number is. Don't know where the key is being stored. So resources have gone. And firefight merit is completely gone.
However, you're now sitting on how much XP? 3 again?
Well, 3. I had a big spend last time.
Yeah. You kind of gasp for air. But you're inside. You made it this time.
And
You see,
just taking a moment to look around. Júlia.
Júlia, give me a perception actually on that. Because this place would
very echoey.
Yeah, this
It
place would
carries,
echo.
but it's trying not to shout because
You would hear it. However, this would be roughly about the time that you met the shambling corpse, so up to you on if you want to respond.
Is it shambling with direction?
It's shambling towards you, yes.
Okay, I backtrack like around the corner and see if it's shambling with real direction.
It's still heading in the exact same direction. It was a decent enough distance ahead that you realistically can't tell unless it rounds the corner, and by the time it rounds the corner, it might smack you in the face.
That's why we take a couple steps away from the corner. We go to the next corner and see if it has object permanence.
So, no response for Tiago.
A little busy, sorry.
Júlia.
You wait for a little bit, and there's no response.
And then going ahead. Okay, Bram, losing memories may be worse than literal anything else. It's this place.
As you move in, you come to the same realization as the other three. You are in some sort of ancient necropolis of some sort. You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Geist the Sin-Eaters, 2nd edition, Marvelous City of the Dead, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion Anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener. If you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, when change comes, and it will it be full of hope or tragedy?